In the winter of 1812, a chilling mystery unfolded in a small frontier settlement in what would later become Southern Illinois. 15 children vanished from Prairie View, a tight-knit community of about 200 settlers along the Sangamon River. Initially, the local militia suspected wilderness predators or Native American raids, but the truth was far darker. The disappearances were orchestrated by the Kensington family, respected educators who ran Prairie View Academy, a beacon of hope for families across 3 counties. For nearly 3 years, they had a sinister operation behind a facade of Christian virtue, committing atrocities so horrific that territorial authorities suppressed all evidence, sealed records, and relocated witnesses to bury the truth. The case only came to light through the dying words of a child who escaped, revealing a network of ritualistic murders disguised as religious education. Before we delve into the chilling details of the Kensington family's crimes, please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more dark historical mysteries. Share in the comments where you're reading from. We'd love to connect with our audience. The story, pieced together from survivor accounts, sealed court documents, and private journals, reveals a nightmare that began with hope but ended in unimaginable horror. In 1812, Prairie View was a rugged outpost of log cabins connected by muddy trails, where survival hinged on community trust. Families, mostly from Kentucky and Tennessee, had settled there seeking fertile land amid rising tensions before the War of 1812. The settlement revolved around Jeremiah Caldwell's general store, which doubled as a town hall, and a Methodist chapel visited monthly by circuit rider Samuel Hayes. Life was grueling, with children working alongside parents, leaving little room for education. With the nearest school 60 miles away in Kaskaskia, over 70% of Prairie View's children were illiterate, a source of shame for parents who dreamed of better futures for their young. Enter Cornelius and Matilda Kensington in spring 1809, arriving like an answer to prayers. Cornelius, a gaunt man with gray eyes and white hair, claimed to be a former Pennsylvania seminary student called to educate frontier children. His ability to recite scripture, fluency in Latin and Greek, an extensive library impressed settlers. Matilda, stern yet patient, presented herself as the daughter of a Philadelphia schoolmaster, skilled in literature, math, and domestic arts. Their twin sons, Jeremiah and Josiah, pale and eerily identical, served as assistant instructors, leading prayers and maintaining discipline with an unsettling presence. Armed with vague but impressive letters of recommendation, the Kensingtons established Prairie View Academy in a large, 2-story log building with 24 rooms, including classrooms, dormitories, a chapel, and unusual features like windowless instruction rooms and a basement chapel. Built with community labor in exchange for reduced tuition, the academy offered affordable education in reading, writing, arithmetic, geography, Latin, and religious studies, attracting students from across the region. The Kensingtons seemed devoted to their students, with Cornelius leading daily chapel services emphasizing obedience and sacrifice, Matilda teaching with innovative methods, and the twins using moral counseling instead of corporal punishment. Families sent children to board during winter months, grateful for the education and relief from strained resources. By 1811, the academy housed over 30 boarders, its reputation growing through trade networks and church gatherings. Unbeknownst to parents, they were entrusting their children to predators who had perfected a saintly facade to mask their monstrous intentions. The first disappearance, on November 23, 1811, went unnoticed as such. 12-year-old Samuel Hartwell, a boarder from Cedar Creek, failed to return home for Thanksgiving. His father, William, assumed weather delays, as early snowstorms had made travel treacherous. When Samuel didn't arrive after 3 days, William rode to the academy, finding it peaceful with him singing children. Cornelius delivered devastating news. Samuel had died of a sudden fever, buried in the academy's cemetery after a Christian service. Matilda provided Samuel's belongings and a lock of his hair, her grief convincing William of their sincerity. Over the next months, 5 more boarders died: Mary Patterson, Joseph Fletcher, Rebecca Martinez, and brothers David and Andrew Kelly, all reportedly from sudden illnesses, buried quickly to prevent disease spread. Each case followed a pattern: rapid onset, failed remedies, and burial in the Academy's cemetery with memorial tokens sent to parents. The Kensingtons' apparent sorrow and detailed explanations quelled suspicions, as childhood diseases were common. By summer 1812, whispers of concern emerged. All deceased children were boarders, dying when other students were away, leaving no witnesses. They were also the brightest. Samuel excelled in math, Mary in music, Joseph in art, Rebecca in reading, and the Kellys in multiple subjects. Martha Prescott grew alarmed by her daughter Anne's letters, describing pale sickness among students, basement lessons, and missing classmates. When Martha arrived to retrieve Anne in December, the Academy was eerily silent. Matilda claimed Anne was ill, but Anne's terrified cries, "Mama, help me," prompted Martha to push past, finding her daughter pale but coherent, whispering, "They're not all buried in the cemetery. Some are still in the basement." Martha fled with Anne, who later revealed details of covenant rituals involving drugs, prayers, and missing students. Other parents grew suspicious. Thomas Fletcher doubted his son Benjamin's death, noting his final letters' unnatural sophistication and the grave's loose soil. Dr. Ezra Coleman confirmed he'd never treated Academy students, contradicting the Kensingtons' claims. For trapper Jacob Winters reported nighttime digging and strange student behavior, while former servant Sarah Henderson described bloodstains and torture devices in hidden rooms. Merchant Marcus Webb, sheltering near the Academy, saw figures burying sacks in the woods. These accounts prompted Sheriff James Mitchell to investigate on April 15, 1813. With Deputy William Crawford, Dr. Coleman, and Reverend Samuel Hayes, the Academy was unnaturally quiet, and Cornelius's trembling hands betrayed his calm facade. He claimed records were lost in a fire, but the cemetery showed fresh disturbances and no coffins. Hidden basement chambers, found behind concealed doors, contained bloodstains, shackles, and ritual implements. Cornelius' journals detailed a delusional belief in harvesting children's spiritual energy through torture, while financial records showed they profited from murdered students' tuition. The twins' rooms held victim relics and drawings of torture. Excavations uncovered 15 children's bodies, showing prolonged abuse and ritualistic mutilation. The Kensingtons' trial in September 1813, held in closed sessions to prevent panic, convicted all four of murder and conspiracy. Cornelius justified his actions with twisted theology. Matilda claimed coercion, and the twins remained silent, their devotion to their father absolute. On November 30, 1813, they were hanged in Kaskaskia before a crowd of settlers. Cornelius's final sermon predicted divine retribution, while Matilda offered a questionable apology. The twins died without speaking. The Academy was burned, its cemetery relocated, and records sealed to protect the territory's reputation. The case devastated Frontier Trust, stalling educational progress as parents shunned boarding schools. Victims' families grappled with grief, some leaving Illinois entirely. The Kensingtons' crimes, enabled by isolation and unchecked authority, exposed the dangers of blind trust in religious and educational figures. And in Rebecca's courage in speaking out was crucial, highlighting the importance of listening to children. The sealed records leave questions. Were there more victims? Did the Kensingtons commit earlier crimes in Pennsylvania? Should the truth have been fully disclosed? What are your thoughts on this chilling tale? Do you think the authorities were right to suppress it, or should the full horror have been revealed? Share your comments, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more dark mysteries. Our next story explores a traveling preacher's trail of vanished families and the marshal who hunted him. The Kensington case reminds us that evil can hide behind respectability, urging vigilance to protect the vulnerable.